If you feel like your dollars aren't going as far as they used to, unfortunately, you are not imagining things. Prices are rising, savings feel like they're shrinking, and everything from groceries to gas seems to cost more per month. That, my friends, is what we call inflation. And with the US debt ceiling becoming lifted time after time again, a lot of folks are wondering what that really means for their money, especially when it comes to the retirement savings. You might be wondering about that as well, which is why you're probably here. I mean, it's a question I get all the time. What does inflation do to my savings, Mark? I get it. It could be confusing and stressful. So let's answer that question once and for all. Why listen to me? Well, my name is Mark Russell. I'm a financial wellness board member with National Debt Relief. You might see me in features in Time Magazine, CNBC, Forbes, or you probably see me on a lot of the videos on this channel already. And if you have, I want to say thank you. But long before I was doing that, I was someone buried in about $80,000 in debt, trying to figure it all out. So I just don't teach money. I lived through some messy times too. And if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed about your savings right now, especially with everything happening in the news, I want you to know I see you and I've been there too. I was just as worried about my retirement savings, especially when it comes to inflation's impact on my retirement savings. The US debt ceiling and inflation might still sound like abstract concepts right now, but this has some real consequences for regular folks like you and me. I mean, you probably want to know what's going on with your money, right? So let me explain. So what is the debt ceiling anyway? Put simply, it's a legal limit on how much the US government is allowed to borrow. It's kind of like a credit limit on a credit card. Every few years, Congress has to decide whether to raise or suspend that limit so the government can keep paying for things like Social Security, Medicare, the military, and other obligations they have. In June of 2023, Congress decided to suspend the debt limit entirely until January of 2025. What the heck does that mean? That means that there was no upper limit on how much the government could borrow. That might sound just like another political headline, but here's why it matters. More borrowing often leads to more money being printed by the Federal Reserve, or what the folks call the feds, and thus being pumped into the economy. And when that happens, it usually leads to inflation. And that's when it starts to impact people like you and me. Inflation is when your dollar doesn't stretch as far as it used to. And when inflation starts rising, it eats away at your savings. Imagine saving up for retirement only to realize that what used to cover your monthly expenses no longer does. I've talked to countless people who feel like they're doing everything right, putting money in their 401k, saving when they can, living within their means, but still somehow they feel like they're falling behind. That, my friend, is the silent thief that's called inflation, and it's eating away at your purchasing power and your savings day by day. Now let's talk about something a little bit more serious, and that's called hyperinflation. That's when inflation goes off the rails. It doesn't just rise by a few percent per year as it does right now, it completely skyrockets. It's important to know what could happen so you can see the patterns in the economy for yourself and safeguard your money against it. So what does hyperinflation actually look like in the different stages? Economists often break it down into 4 different phases. Steady inflation, this is when prices start to rise gradually due to increased money supply. It's not necessarily painful, but over time, it slowly decreases the purchasing power and could eat up your savings. Right now, the Fed aims for an inflation rate of about 2% to ensure a stable and healthy economy. This 2% inflation rate gives the Fed room to play with the interest rate, especially with the goal of lowering it in an economic downturn or to combat unemployment. The fact that the Fed openly aims for a 2% interest rate usually helps households and businesses to make sound financial decisions, since everyone expects for inflation to hover around the 2% mark. The interest rate right now is at 2.3%. So while it may not feel like this, the Fed is nicely on target with the inflation rate. That also means that we're in this stage at this moment. Then you have stage number 2, accelerated inflation. Prices rise faster and wages can't keep up. People start changing their spending habits, trying to buy now because they know things will get more expensive later. This is when the inflation rate starts to become a little uncontrollable. Stage number 3 is the turning point. This is when people stop trusting the currency and rush to buy tangible assets like food, gold, or even real estate. Next, we have hyperinflation. In this stage, when inflation truly goes off the rails, prices increase at record speeds, daily or even hourly. The economy breaks down as bartering becomes more common and basic needs become unaffordable for most people. We're not there, and we will most likely not get to stage 2, 3, or 4 soon, but it's good to know where things could go so you can see the patterns in the economy for yourself. For the folks closer to retirement or already retired, this is a very big deal. If your savings is in cash or low return accounts, they can start losing value when the inflation rate is just too high. And if you're working, you might feel stuck between rising prices and a paycheck that doesn't stretch any further. Unfortunately, this is how a lot of people unintentionally slide into debt. They're not being reckless, they're just trying to buy groceries, cover bills, take care of their family, etc. But when prices are rising at a very extreme rate, wages sometimes just can't keep up. That's how inflation creates pressure both on the individual and the economy as a whole. And when that pressure builds up, a lot of people turn to credit cards, personal loans, and payday loans just to survive the month. So what do you do when you feel like your money is slipping through your fingers? First, I want you to take a deep breath. You're not failing. You're just trying to survive a system that wasn't designed really to be easy. But you do have options. One thing you could do is start reviewing your expenses. What are your non-negotiables? And where is there flexibility? And if you're saving your money, consider diversifying. Some people move part of their savings into assets that might keep up with inflation, like certain things like index funds or commodities like gold and silver. Want to know more about budgeting and investing? Check out these free resources on National Debt Relief's website, where I take you through the basics of both budgeting and investing. And if your debt is starting to creep up, or if it's already a mountain, you don't have to face it alone. That's where debt relief companies come in. These companies with their in-house debt experts help people like you find solutions that match your situation. That might mean debt settlement, where they help you negotiate with your creditors to lower what you owe, or debt consolidation to roll multiple payments into one simple, more affordable plan. And sometimes, if it's the right move, bankruptcy might be part of the conversation as well. Again, that's just something to consider. They can help you figure out what makes sense. No judgment, no pressure, often starting off with a free consultation call. Want to know what debt relief can mean for you in your unique situation? Check out this video where I go in depth about what debt relief may look like. All right, there you go, folks. This may have been a lot of information, so let's do a quick recap. The US debt ceiling gets lifted time after time again. No matter the administration, it happens, which allows the government to borrow as much as it needs. The lifting of this debt ceiling can lead to inflation, which could lower the value of your money. This puts pressure on you as an individual and your retirement savings, and also on the economy as a whole. Many people may end up relying on debt just to get by. But here's the kicker. This does not have to break you. If you're feeling the pressure, it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It means that you're human and you're living in a time where things are getting a little harder. If you're struggling with debt right now and looking for a solution, know that there are debt relief companies out there like National Debt Relief that specialize in debt relief programs that could help you in your journey of becoming debt-free. National Debt Relief has in-house debt experts who are there to help you. If you have any questions or like a free no obligation debt relief consultation call with them, visit their website at nationaldebtrelief.com. If you happen to have any other questions regarding any other financial related topic, check out the other videos in the series on National Debt Relief's YouTube channel. It's our goal to make complex financial concepts that you hear every single day. We want to make them easy so you can transform your financial life. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.